Anos and other students receive letters from an owl inviting them to the Demon King Academy, the school that nurtures the descendants of the founder, the Demon King of Tyranny. On the day of the entrance exam, Anos meets Misha Necron, another student who is also embarrassed because of the encouraging words from her guardian. When they arrive at the entrance, they are mocked by Zeps, a famous Hindu family demon. Anos completely ignores him, causing him to get angry and attempt to burn them with Grest. However, Anos quickly blows out the flame like a match flame and makes Zeps repent using the power of his words. At the practical exam, Anos' opponent is revealed to be Zeps, and they fight. Zeps uses a demon sword that was passed down in his family, Zephrid, and tries attacking Anos with it. But Anos easily dodges it and puts out the flame from the sword with ease again. He then tells Zeps that he will give himself a handicap and won't move from his spot. Suddenly, Zeps' blood starts spurting out as Anos infuses magic into his heartbeat to attack him. Zeps tells him he will never surrender and that he can only make him surrender using compulsion magic. To make things interesting, Anos tells him that he won't use such magic and then disintegrates Zeps with a finger flick. Anos quickly revives him and keeps killing him, declaring that he could keep reviving him due to Engel's 3-second rule. Growing scared with each death, Zeps eventually surrenders. At the magical assessment, Misha gets 100,246 while Anos destroys the crystal due to his potent magic power, receiving a 0. Next, students are questioned about the Demon King of Tyranny on the aptitude test. After the test, Misha waits for Anos at the entrance, and he invites her to his house. He uses Gatam to teleport them there, surprising Misha since it was a lost magic from the mythical age. At his house, Anos' parents quickly jump to conclusions and are delighted that he brought home a wife, so Anos says he will clear up the misunderstanding later. The four eat mushroom gratin, Anos' favorite food, to celebrate his acceptance into the academy. Later, as Anos and Misha walk outside, an arena begins to form around them with Iris. They run into another royal, Zeps' older brother, Leorg Indu. Zeps excitedly announces that his brother will defeat Anos, but Leorg kills Zeps with magic, stating that his family doesn't need a weakling like Zeps. Leorg then begins to prepare magic circles with his group of royals. However, their magic power runs out of control, and the group explodes. Leorg successfully avoids death by containing his magic and prepares to use the highly risky spell, Gerast. He attacks Anos with it but is stunned when the dust clears, and Anos stands there unharmed. Anos explains that origin magic does not work on the origin itself, as Leorg used the Demon King of Tyranny as its origin and then proclaimed himself as the Demon King of Tyranny, which no one believes. Leorg is angered that Anos is making light of the founder's great deeds, so Anos replies, "How is talking about myself making light of my great deeds?" Anos begins wondering about the brotherly bonds in this magical age and tells Leorg that he will give him a chance due to risking his life for a dangerous spell earlier. He then uses Igram to revive Zeps, who proceeds to attack Leorg as revenge for killing him. Anos tells Leorg to call out his brother's name and prove their bond as brothers, but Leorg isn't successful. He yells out at the last moment and is killed due to their lack of brotherly bonds. Anos then remarks on the weak bonds of brothers in the current era and revives both Hindu brothers before destroying the arena. Then, as Zeps and Leorg wonder who Anos is, Anos declares that he is the Demon King of Tyranny. Anos enters his new class and makes another terrible joke. He also wonders why people are staring at him, so Misha tells him that it's due to his badge, which has a cross on it. This labels him as a misfit, making him the misfit of the Demon King Academy. During the mythical age, the hero canon, the Demon King Anos, the Great Spirit Reno, and the Goddess of Creation Militia gathered at the Demon Castle Delskade. Anos proposed to sacrifice his life to create 4 walls for the sake of world peace, which would be opened in 1,000 years. The three agreed to his plan, and Canon stabbed Anos with his holy sword, allowing him to turn his life into magic power. In his last moments, Anos promised Canon he would become her friend if they met. A big explosion then occurred, and the world was divided into 4. 2,000 years later, Isabella and Gusta look at their newborn baby and try to name him, when suddenly the baby says his name is Anos Voldigoad, shocking his parents. Back at the Demon King Academy, Misha says that no one has ever failed the aptitude test. Confused, as he is sure he answered all the questions about himself correctly, Anos reads Misha's mind with leaks and discovers that the name of the founder is Anos Voldigoad. As Misha continues talking about the aptitude test, a girl walks past and sneers at Anos' badge. The bell rings and their homeroom teacher, Amelia Lunawell, begins the class. They start by selecting team leaders who can cast Gizeh. Anos raises his hand, but students with white uniforms are not allowed to become leaders. So Anos and Amelia cast Zect, under the following conditions: if Anos can prove hybrids are in no way inferior to purebloods, he can become a team leader. If not, he apologizes and drops out of school. Anos then reveals that the magic circle for Gizeh is flawed before redrawing the circle and making it twice as powerful. Amelia reluctantly accepts her defeat to the confused murmurs of the other students. Amelia then asks all team leaders to introduce themselves. The girl from earlier introduces herself as the Witch of Destruction, Sasha Necron. Misha reveals that she is her sister, but when Anos asks if they have different parents due to their different uniforms, Misha says it's due to a family decision. Anos then introduces himself as Anos Voldigoad, the Demon King of Tyranny, and tells the class that the name they have been using is a complete fake. The class eventually splits up to follow the leaders of their choice. Only Misha chooses to be in Anos' group because they are friends. Sasha comes over to them and calls Misha a defective little junk doll with no life, no soul, and no will. Anos says her grasp of magical concepts is too tenuous if she thinks a magical doll has no soul or life. Sasha then activates her magic eyes of destruction, destroying the wall behind Anos, but with no effect on him. In response, Anos activates his own magic eyes of destruction, leaving her speechless. He invites Sasha to his team to get closer to Misha, but she storms off and says she never thought of Misha as her sister. As Misha and Anos walk out of school, they bump into Sasha. Sasha and Misha form a Zect about the upcoming team battle. If they can beat her team, she will join Anos' team, otherwise, she will get to own him. Anos utterly defeats Sasha's team, so she joins his team. He then brings the sisters to his house for dinner and eventually walks them home as well. Before leaving, Sasha kisses Anos. On the way home, Misha and Sasha ask each other if they like Anos. Sasha denies it but is glad since he can look straight into her eyes without being destroyed by her magic eyes of destruction. She reminisces about the past, telling Misha that she could always look straight into her eyes. Sasha then apologizes to Misha, and she forgives her. Anos Necron, one of the 7 elder demon emperors that Anos created from his own blood, is in charge of the great magic lesson. Anos realizes Anos does not remember him, so he sends Anos back in time to retrieve his memories, only to realize someone actually altered the past itself. Hence, everyone believes the Demon King to be Anos Voldigoad. Anos decides to remain neutral since Anos also possesses the necessary power to change the past, and he is not sure if he can trust Anos yet. Students are told to collect magic items from the dungeon for the next exam. Anos decides to collect a scepter at the dungeon's lowest level to receive a perfect score and quickly gets there since he knows all the routes. After collecting the scepter, he allows Misha to take one of his personal items for Sasha's birthday, the Phoenix robe. However, Sasha stabs Misha and claims she was never their ally but was waiting for a chance to betray them. She also states that if Anos lays a hand on her, magic will activate to push the knife deeper into Misha's body. Still, Anos ignores this and catches Sasha's hand while she is flying away, revealing that he healed Misha as soon as he entered the room and put an illusion instead. Anos claims she is lying since her magic eyes of destruction should have activated under intense emotion, but they did not when she got heated talking about how much she hated Misha. At Misha's request, Anos lets Sasha go, and she flees with the robe and scepter. Misha then reveals to Anos that she will disappear when she and Sasha turn 15 and that the person he thinks of as Misha does not actually exist. When Sasha was a fetus, Iva split her into two babies so that when they turned 15, they would fuse back into a single, more powerful demon. Anos catches up with Sasha, who is eventually revealed to be doing all of this to save Misha and has created a spell to let Misha live while she disappears. For the spell to work, Misha has to reject her, and that's why Sasha always treats her poorly. However, Misha refuses, so they tearfully wait for Misha to disappear. But Anos reveals that if he sends them back in time, they can fuse their half-sources with the half-sources from their unborn fetuses so that they will be born with complete sources as true twin sisters. Suddenly, Ivis crashes from the roof and stabs Anos, revealing that he plans to use their fused body to host the true reincarnated Demon King. Unaffected by the injury, Anos grabs the demon sword and throws it toward Ivis, incapacitating him. He then activates Relive to send them back, only to be blocked by Hugo Laravias, the Keeper of Time. Ivis and Hugo fuse together, and they kill Anos. However, Anos resurrects using Engel and reveals that he has enough power even to defy a god. He then sends the twins to the past to fuse with their unborn selves and summons Venus de Noah to destroy Ivis. Afterward, Anos resurrects Ivis, discovering he is fused with a third, unknown source. He returns all of Ivis' unaltered memories and suggests that Ivis was taken over by someone working for Avus Delhevia. Sasha and Misha return, now as true sisters with separate sources. Despite saving Misha and altering the past, Anos nonchalantly decides to return his scepter to get a perfect score for the exam.